Hey everybody, James with PC Gamer here, and we're taking a look at an early build of Breached. Breached is a strange game. I went into it knowing absolutely nothing, and it builds on that kind of introduction. You see this boot up screen, and it says Hibernation System Stop Hibernation. And there are a ton of little clues scattered throughout the boot up sequence that say, hey, guess what? You have been asleep for a while. An emergency situation has occurred wherever you may be, and you've been put into some kind of stasis to keep yourself alive. And it turns out you've been kept in some kind of stasis because an unknown disaster occurred on this planet you've been conducting research on. And you know you've been conducting research because you get these last recordings. They play out almost like Twine games where text appears and you can click highlighted keywords. Sometimes each entry will have a hashtag that you can click and uncover more hidden journals and slowly piece together exactly who you are and what you've been doing and what went wrong. But the basic gist is this. There's not much time to survive. You need to send a drone out to the planet, gather resources, and fix the shelter so you can, well, continue to stay alive. You're given two primary objectives you can see in the bottom left. One is to fix the generator, you need power, and one is to synthesize fuel. To do that, you control a drone. You connect neurologically, you select an area on this grid, and you send a drone out to skirt the surface of the planet where you look for minerals, resources, and capsules to salvage and synthesize materials for the generator and the fuel that will save your life. Doing these things requires energy, so anytime you send a drone out, it's going to take energy. And you can see in the right side of the screen there's a bar. Connecting to a drone is going to drain 40% of your daily allotment. And you only have a few days to get everything you need to done before you're sent into stasis again. Controlling the drone is kind of thrilling, and it's done just with the mouse. You accelerate holding down left click, and you brake by holding down right click. You control the direction just by, moving the mouse left and right, up and down. And it's fun to skirt around and gain momentum and speed and, see the planet fly by. It gives a lot of incentive to explore every nook and cranny because it's not going to take forever to do it. But you do have to watch out. There are magnetic anomalies all over the surface of the planet that will disconnect you from your drone, and that means you'll lose the resources you've gathered so far, and you won't get that energy back. So in order to reconnect to your drone, you have to use 40% more of your energy and find those resources again and start all over. It's a little frustrating, and I don't exactly know why it exists as a mechanic, or if there's anything beyond it to just don't run into the static glowing bits. It's a little undercooked to me, but who knows, maybe there's more layers of challenge and some kind of mystery that makes those magnetic spheres interesting or useful in some way. Once you find everything you need, go to the recall point and your drone will be teleported back to you. You'll get all the resources you need or could get for that day, at which point you can synthesize them. You can hack your capsules, which requires energy, and you can synthesize resources, which also requires energy. So you gotta keep in mind how many drone trips to take in a day versus how much you can synthesize, what you need to look for, and what you should expend your energy on in order to survive for all 8 days you have left. Problem is, this demo ends so early that it's hard to get a feel for the real tension of surviving. And it's hard to say if there's more to the survival and the game than just going through the motions and collecting the resources you need and reading the text. I'm okay with that. It's interesting to fly around the surface of the planet and sort of try to piece together what's been going on based on the architecture you see and the way the environment has reclaimed itself from the human's touch. The text is interesting to read, and it's fun to kind of dive into the wormhole that the hashtags and the highlighted words give you. But it's hard to say. I'm not really invested in what's going on. I've heard this story many times before, so I'm hoping there's some kind of twist that manifests in the flying mechanics and the survival mechanics. or in the narrative itself that, you know, redeems it or makes it interesting and stand out from the pack. Otherwise, Breached is a really otherworldly game, well, literally and, you know, figuratively. It doesn't really feel like much I've played before. So I love the structure, and I'm excited to see what they do with it in the latter 2/3 of the game. But in the meantime, I'm intrigued, so I'm curious to see how it plays out. Breached comes out this May, so keep your eyes peeled and keep your neurological link to PCGamer.com intact.